All right, welcome back to Coops Fitness. Today, I'm going to be going through, like I did another video a while back, I'm going to be going through some moderately healthy foods, some okay healthy foods, maybe some foods that aren't super healthy. A little while back, I did a video of foods that are actually unhealthy. And those foods that I put out were foods that typically people think of as healthy. But to be honest, those foods that I mentioned were actually crap. This time, I'm going to present to you foods that are actually relatively more on the healthy side, but they're maybe not the best thing for you either, or they're not the number one option. And I'm going to explain that, okay? So first thing here, let's just start with your fundamentals, right? We all know that protein bars are a very convenient way to get quick protein in. But you see, the thing about protein bars is that you have to ask yourself, what kind of protein bar are you eating, right? There are so many preservatives in protein bars and so many calories in protein bars. And a lot of times they're only good when you're on a bulk, right? If you're on a cut, they're not the best thing for you, right? And they're not good quality protein. Just because it says 20 to 40 grams of protein, that does not necessarily mean that it's good quality protein. The best quality proteins out there are going to be eggs, lean meat, okay? And really, that's it. I mean, no, that's not it. But you get the point, right? If you want to grow muscle, if you want to build strength overall, your best are going to be lean meat and eggs, okay? So, next thing I have on the list, I don't know why people still think this kind of stuff is good. Like, it's not bad for you, but it's not your number one, okay? No fitness expert is ever going to recommend that you eat a whole bunch of dairy, okay? Especially freaking Activia yogurt, like, you know, but yeah, so yogurt, like, it's one of those foods where, yes, you can squeeze in. Yes, you can include it if you want. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not really your go-to option in terms of what is going to be the best food for you. What is going to be like in the top list of the most beneficial foods for you, especially with regards to hitting your macros, right? It's got loads of calcium in it, it's high in dairy, and you know, we now know that dairy is not even the best thing for you anyway, and you should be limiting your intake of dairy and just sticking strictly to your macronutrients, which are your proteins, your carbohydrates, and your fats. And as long as that's balanced out by the end of the day, you're good. Okay? So I would say for the yogurt, like, I would say get rid of it. Don't even bother, right? Focusing on foods that actually have protein. If you're going to eat dairy, make sure it's dairy with high quality protein. Oh, but it's got strawberries in it. I don't give a fuck. Get rid of the fucking yogurt, all right? So next we got oatmeal, okay? Now the instant stuff is okay if you're on a bulk, okay? Because it's got loads of high calories, right? Now, again, the only downside is obviously the sugar, right? If you're gonna eat this stuff, then preferably the whole oats. But if you're gonna have instant oatmeal, make sure you're consuming it moderately because it's got a lot of sugar in it, okay? Now it's got a lot of, like I said, calories, which are great, which are on a bulk. That's why I love to include this when I am in my bulk phase, okay? So the only thing about this one is it's great, it can be, you just gotta be careful with it, right? So next thing we have, very similar, so oat milk. So oat milk, like, again, see, it's kind of a trend, and it's unfortunate, like, because oat milk is something, different types of milk for dietary issues, whatever, that's all great and everything. The only thing is it doesn't have much of the nutrients that you actually need. It's like, it's got how many grams of protein in this? 1 gram. 1 gram of protein. Guess how much per serving? 1 cup. 1 cup of this is 1 gram of protein, and it's oat milk. Now, I'm surprised by that. I don't know about you, but see, as you can see, it's not the most effective, right? It really is not the most effective. And who knows what shit is in this, right? It's like, how do you milk an oat? Like, seriously. Which brings me to my next point, okay? So, picture this, right? So, we already talked about oat milk. There's also shit out there that they're coming out with, like almond milk, which is really ridiculous. Because when you really think about it, like, how the fuck would you milk this shit? Like, honestly, like, what the fuck do you think is going into this shit? I mean, like, if you think that you're actually gonna go into the grocery store and buy freaking artificial milk that you think is actual milk that's actually decent for you, like, you're an idiot. Like, what the fuck do you think is in this shit? Almonds? How do you grind this up and just turn it into milk? Like, doesn't that make you question the process of how you turn almonds into milk? Like, I don't even know how the fuck you would do it. Would you go Gucci, 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 goo? I don't know how the fuck you would milk that thing, okay? Like some of these foods out there, I'm just saying, it's just kind of ridiculous. I'm just saying. Which brings me to the next one, which is granola. Now, granola is great. Granola is not super unhealthy. And in a lot of cases, I would actually highly recommend it. I mean, you know, per 1/2 a cup, it's 280 calories, okay? Per 1/2 a cup, 280 calories. That's not too bad when you're on a bulk, when you're on a cut. You don't want to eat that, right? But certainly when you're on a bulk, totally fine, right? Especially because it's granola. You can have large amounts. It's going to be 5 grams of protein per 1/2 cup. That's 10 grams of protein per full cup, right? So it's a good, easy, convenient way to just sneak more protein in, get your high calories when you're bulking, trying to build muscle, okay? So that's all fine and good, which brings me to my final one for today, which is peanut butter, which is exactly the same thing, same sort of deal with the oats, or with the granola, pardon me. Now, the thing with the peanut butter, I know I talked about this last time. Last time, I talked about different peanut butter, which was the worst kind of peanut butter for you, the Kraft peanut butter. This peanut butter, completely the opposite. You read the ingredients here. Dry roasted Vallecania peanuts. Peanuts. Ingredients. 1 ingredient. May contain tree nuts, which is basically the same thing. How does actual peanut butter with 1 ingredient in it, how does that differ from a big-ass green container with an ugly mustard brown that's like 65 ingredients? Like, how is that? Like, if you don't realize that that's not the same thing, you're a fucking idiot, okay? Kraft peanut butter is not real peanut butter, and it's certainly not good for you. This is the kind of stuff you want to eat, and it's fantastic for you, especially when you're bulking and trying to put on muscle, because it's super high calorie. You can eat as many tablespoons as you want, and the more tablespoons you eat of it, the higher calories you're going to get, right? The closer you're going to get to your calorie goal. It's high in good fats for you, right? It's not super high in saturated fat, only 1 gram. No trans fat for you. All the right kind of fat, right? But of course a little lower, 7 grams, which is not bad, right? And yeah, honestly, it's really, really good. Just make sure it's actual peanut butter, not fake peanut butter. That's it for today. If you liked today's video, then make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, Coops Fitness, as well as follow me on Instagram at Train with Coops Fitness. And we will see you next time.